Hey guys, it's Reagan here today, just me, no Quinn right now, but I'm going to be showing you how I edited this picture using 3 free apps. Technically I only used 2 for this picture, but I also used a third one for thumbnails, so yeah. So I'll just get straight into it. Like I said, all the apps are free and they can be available on iOS. I don't know if they're all available on Android, but I'm going to guess they are because they're all pretty popular. So if you're wondering what they are, I used Lightroom, the app. I also used some of Facetune too, and I used Picsart at the end. So those are the apps in case you're wondering. They'll also probably be in the description below. So yes, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is enter Lightroom. And I have it on landscape mode right now, but usually my phone would be on portrait mode. And then I'm going to go and find the little tiny white sun on the right, and that's going to be my lighting tab. So for first thing I'm going to do is fix the exposure, and the exposure either brightens the picture a lot or it darkens the picture. So I'm going to brighten this picture just a little bit, and usually on almost all my pictures I just brighten them a little bit just to, because the pictures I usually take are kind of dark. Then the contrast is next, and on this one I'm just going to sharpen the image, add a bit more color, which I just did. Then I'm going to move on to highlights, and this one adds lots of white tones or kind of takes away the white tones. So for this one I'm probably going to take away some of the white tones just because her dress is actually yellow but it looks very white in the picture. And here we have shadows, which gives either shadows or no shadows. It's pretty self-explanatory. I usually like a little bit of shadow, but this one I kind of took them away just based on the theme of the picture. And then whites also brings out some like bright white tones versus no white tones. And blacks, I usually have it towards the black side a little bit more just because I think it looks a bit more professional. Next I'm going to go to that little like vial clip on the right. This is my colors tab. So usually I turn the temperature down to the blue side a little bit, and I almost always turn it down to the blue side. However, for this picture I mixed it up a bit and I went on the yellow side, but if you look at any of my pictures they usually have blue tones. And this is what it looks like if you pull it up to the extremes of the temperature tab. Usually blue for me, and that's what it looks like on the extremes of the tint tab. Usually I have a purple tint. If you look once again at all my pictures, they're pretty much always purple. And then I clicked color mix at the top right, and now I'm just going through each individual color and playing around with how much color I want and where. So as you can see, the extremes, they look very extreme. I think I went with some yellow for this one. This is definitely like a woodland kind of theme is kind of what I did with the picture. So the background, when I go to the greens, you'll see the background, the leaves in the back will turn very green. But I'm just taking away some of the red now because I just didn't like it. This is actually the second time I edited this picture because the first time I didn't use my phone on portrait mode and it didn't catch any of it. So we had to redo this, and I actually liked the redone one better, I think, than the first one. But as you can see, those greens are now a bit more like evergreen in the background. And I'm just going through each color. You sometimes have to look closely just to see where these affect. Like on some of the purples and pinks, it was the little flowers on her dress, and the blue was some of the bow on her dress as well, and they just affect the little things, but they can change up the look of the picture. So then I clicked done, which you'll see in a second, and we're going to go to the vibrance, and I'll show you the extremes again. So it's either no color basically, or a lot of color. So I kind of took away some color, like sometimes I'll go a little brighter, but usually I don't go that bright with vibrance just because otherwise too much is never great, so of one color. So I also did the same thing with saturation and showed you the extremes, and I went a little bit up with saturation. And I usually go only a little bit up with saturation, pretty much always. Then I went to the other next spot on the right and I upped the clarity and showed you how like fuzzy it looks without up the clarity. And however, clarity also makes it a little grainier, so you have to be kind of careful with how much you add. And dehaze either makes it foggy or clear. And I went definitely on the clear side for this one. I like the darkness around her face in this picture a lot, and I think that's something I like about it. So then I went to the vignette, and I typically go with the more white side. However, on this picture, I went with the more black side of the vignette because I liked it better. And then midpoint affects where the vignette begins and ends, and I kind of just left it on the basic spot. So then I go down to highlights, and I think I'm going to play around with that a bit, but it doesn't really change much in this picture. And grain, of course, next. Grain is actually something I like to sometimes add. It looks like this. It gives it more of a vintage look. However, It can also look kind of crusty on dolls, so oftentimes I don't really mess with the grain too much on my doll pictures. However, for this one I did a little bit, even though it was already kind of grainy. And the size of the grain also I just went through. It shows how big you want the grain dots to be and how small, so that's your choice. And then I go up to that little like export button at the top, and I saved it to the maximum size, and I saved it. So now I'm going to go into the next app. So when I show you this one, I actually could not get it on a right side up mode, so I'll show you. You can't really see the buttons, but I'll kind of talk you through it. So now I'm going into Facetune 2, which is also a free photo editing app. And this is an old picture I have of Eve that I edited recently for our Instagram story. And then I'm going to pick the photo I want at the top, and I'm going to go and begin editing. Now this is going to be kind of hard to talk you through since I can't see what I'm doing either. But first I go to retouch, and I'm going to whiten the teeth, and I can also up how much I want to whiten the teeth. Now, this one is something it's kind of optional. Whitening the doll tooth doesn't really affect much. Then I went up to conceal, I believe, or matte, and I started just covering up that scratch on her forehead, which is actually a funny story. If you guys want to hear a story time, I can tell you about that. And then I'm also going around and just clearing up some parts right there. I added some detail to the eyes, which is what I'm doing right now. And then I upped it all the way because I like our eyes to shine on our dolls. I also am going to go into glow, and I'm going to cover her whole body with that, and that's just to separate the doll from the background. Now this is actually the first time I edited the picture, so that's why her dress is so blindingly white compared to the last time. So you may recall in the last picture I kind of toned that down, whereas I didn't really tone it down when I edited this picture, so here we are. Okay, and now I believe I'm just concealing and matting, putting the matte part on her forehead, and then I'm adding some vibrance to the eyes right here. It doesn't really affect much in this picture, but sometimes it does. And one thing with vibrance you have to be careful of is leaving spots on the skin. As you could see on her forehead a second ago, it was kind of red up there, where the vibrance had actually accidentally touched her forehead with it. So it does make the skin very pink and red and orange, so just be careful to make sure the vibrance is only touching the eyes or the clothes or whatever you want to have it on. But personally I just like the eyes because I think it just looks nice. So now I'm going into tone, which is actually under like the paint section, and I'm picking a brown, and I like to add a brown tone to her eyes, and this just lightens them up a bit and gives them a bit more color, since oftentimes they're kind of black, especially with brown-eyed dolls. So it's very red right now, and because I have it on high, which you can see by the bar at the bottom how high I have it on. And then I'm gonna pull the lever down, and as you can see it just adds a nice tone of brown, and that's how I do their eyes. Then we're going to go into paint, and this is how I'm going to get the lip color. And you can choose between a couple colors. As you can see, there's a long list of colors, so if you want to change anything else, you can also do that. But I'm just getting this dark red color, and I'm going to cover her lips with it. And if you're bugged with that piece on her tooth, or if you think it's too extreme, I will lighten this up a bit, and I'll also erase that area around the tooth in a second, so it won't be quite so nasty. But this is definitely a harder picture, so usually it's not this hard to go through the lip color right there, but this time it was kind of difficult. However, you can get nice and close if you want to like just get a tiny fix, so it's great having the ability to zoom in on that and get those individual pixels. So now I'm just lightening them and picking kind of the color I like. Sometimes I can go, for this picture I went with a more dramatic dark color than I usually do, but I think it looks okay. And you can kind of just mix it up. If you want the doll to have darker lips, you can. If you want them to have lighter lips, you can do that too. And that's kind of a fun part about this app, is that you can really change a lot of stuff about the picture and the makeup on the doll. I just wish on this picture I had the dress not quite as blindingly white. That's kind of bugging me. But you'll see in a bit, I might go back and edit the other picture to post. So then I saved it up at the top, and I'm going to move into the next app, which is optional. However, I'm just going to show you a little bit with it, which is what I kind of use to edit my thumbnails, and it's just kind of a fun app to play around with, and it's called Picsart, and you've probably heard of this. I'm just going to add a tab. Okay, we'll censor that. That was a picture of us. And we're just going to play around with this a bit. So what's cool about this is I actually learned this through, I believe, one of our group chats in a competition we're in, and it's that you can actually color replace and change some stuff in the picture, like some colors. So now I'm actually gonna, but the color replace actually allows you to change the colors of parts in the background or in the picture, which I think is kind of neat. I'll also show you the stickers. Is what I'm showing you right here. That's what the cheese is, so you can put stickers on there. However, on the picture I tried to actually needed it for, it actually didn't let me change the background for some reason, so that's kind of irritating, but whatever. Now I'm showing you the brush tool and how you can choose all these different brushes to add stickers and stuff. If you want to add like flowers into the picture like I just did there on her hand, you can do that. And there's lots of options. Then I'm going to add some sparkle in a second. So if you want to have them look kind of like a glowing sparkle starry night or something like that, you can do that. And I'm kind of making it look like she's got like sparkles coming off of her hand. I probably won't post this like this just because you have to be careful how edited it looks. You don't want it to look over edited or like you did too much. So there is a fine line between enough and too much with photo editing on dolls. But I added this and I think it looks kind of cute. And then in a second, you're gonna see me, I'm just still playing around with those stars, but you're gonna see me save it. I just went to the top and I clicked save, and then I think I just saved it to like camera roll or something like that. And it also gives me a lot of ads, so just be ready for those when you're taking the pictures. And I've left the final photo at the end of the video. It'll probably also be on our Instagram, which is at chickenbiscuitag as well. And I think it looks okay. I think it turned out fine. It's definitely different than my usual type of picture, but this is a very similar editing process that I usually go through. So thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos in the future. Bye! Who am I? Who am I? Thou you, thou you. Who am I? Who am I? Thou you, thou you. Lay my dreams down at your feet, baby. Watch out where you step. And there's no need for us knowing all.